This week on What in the World is Going On, Brooklyn pro-Palestine rally calls to eliminate both Israel and the U.S. So stay tuned, friends. The Times of Israel published that article on July 4th of this year, 2020, and in it they reported that at a pro-Palestinian, pro-Black Lives Matter demonstration in Brooklyn this week, participants called to eliminate the Jewish state as well as the United States amid chants of death to Israel, death to America. They go on to say here that several hundred people were reported to take part in the July 1st rally at the New York City Borough, defined as a day of rage, an event to respond to Israel's plans to annex parts of the West Bank. And of course, these rallies weren't just taking place in the United States, they were here in Canada as well, in Toronto. And what were their chants? Well, they were all the same, that Israel stole the land from the Palestinians. And so they're not interested in a two-state solution. In fact, they want all of that land from the river to the sea. Well, I'll give them this, that at least they're consistent with what they've been saying, because that's exactly what we see with the Arabs and the Palestinians all the way back to the very first partition plan for a two-state solution in 1937. And they rejected it then, and they rejected it in 47, they rejected it in 2000, and again in 2008. As well as with President Trump's deal of the century, Mahmoud Abbas rejecting the deal once again with 1,000 no's. But friends, is it true? Did Israel steal the land from the Palestinians? And of course the answer to that is no. All we need to do is take a brief look at history and go back to the original deal of the century, where the allies that defeated the Ottoman Empire in World War I met in San Remo, Italy in 1920 to carve up that land of the Ottoman Empire. This is where the Balfour Declaration became international law, acknowledging the fact that the Jewish people also have a right to the land, to their ancestral homeland in a land that was at that time called Palestine. And friends, that's the political of the whole thing. But what does God's word say concerning the matter, which is even more important? Because in Leviticus 25:23, God says to the world, and here's a warning, he says, the land shall not be sold forever, for the land is mine. You see, God promised Abraham and his descendants this land as an everlasting possession, and God has promised that his son, Messiah Jesus, one day will rule on the throne of his father David from Jerusalem over the nations of the world for 1,000 years. Friends, and Satan knows it, and Satan hates it. And when we come to Ephesians chapter 2, we're told that Satan is the prince of the power of the air, working in the children of disobedience. And that's what we see happening in our world today. And so, friends, until next time, this has been What in the World is Going On with the Friends of Israel Gospel Ministry.